Well, you're back to the That's Good Broncos podcast. I'm Brandon Perna here with Will Keys, and That's Good Broncos is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. You can use the code DNVR when you sign up at DraftKings, and they will give you a once-in-a-lifetime exclusive offer to turn $1 into $100. So make sure you use the code DNVR with DraftKings when you're signing up. You've got Broncos, Buccaneers this weekend. Buccaneers favored by 6 points. So as a homer who always believes the Broncos can make things happen, I might be placing my bet on the Broncos. Obviously through DraftKings. So that's the spread there. If you are into that sort of thing, make sure you check it out, baby. And make sure you check it out, baby, is a line I'm going to pitch to DraftKings. Like, why don't you guys just go with make sure you check it out, baby?
I want to see make sure you check it out, baby, on a billboard soon.
Yeah. Maybe it's just because I have a baby. Like, it's just a word that's always on my mind.
Yeah. I think verbally you have to say that you just copyrighted that phrase or else anyone can take it.
Yeah, exactly.
So be careful.
What? You cut out.
Keep that stuff for the Patreon.
Yes.
No intellectual property.
Yeah. Intellectual and property, two things nobody walks away saying from our podcasts.
Yeah.
Broncos, we've got
an interesting game.
We got an interesting game this weekend. So we're going to preview Bucs, Broncos. Todd Davis landed somewhere. We'll touch on that. And all the Broncos are still injured. They might get a little bit healthier this week. So we'll decide who's going to win based on not injuries, because Bucs have the advantage there. So we'll dig deep in this episode to come up with reasons the Broncos can win. But let's start with old Todd Davis, famously released by the Broncos, sort of the big surprise cut this preseason. Where is Todd Davis, Will?
He signed a 1-year deal with the Minnesota Vikings, which means he is back. The head coach that he won a Super Bowl with in 2015, Gary Kubiak. And to me, this deal makes a lot of sense for Minnesota because they've given up, I think, 150 yards rushing in both of their games. So they've gotten pretty much gashed by both the Packers and the Colts. And they need a run stopper. Plus Anthony Barr's out. So I think this move makes a lot of sense for them. I don't think, it doesn't solve the problem at quarterback. But, hey, they might get them the ball more often.
Maybe their defense will be a little bit better against the run. I think Minnesota might have let too many of their corners walk this offseason. Don't know.
Did the Bengals take all of them? I think
the Bengals took two.
Yeah.
Trey Waynes and
Mackenzie Alexander, right?
Alexander. Trey, not a Wayans brother, Waynes. Todd Davis, for Broncos fans, I think there are just two opinions about Todd Davis. Either you think he's a solid, underrated player, or you don't think anything about him.
Yeah, I mean, he was pretty he was one of those two guys, I think, on that 2015 defense that was just really solid but never got any sort of, didn't get a lot of credit. It was him and Sylvester Williams.
That was his best season, Sylvester Williams.
Yeah, it's hard to talk about those guys just because you got to start with Von Miller and then DeMarcus Ware and Keep Talib, Chris Harris, TJ Ward, Darian Stewart. Those are the guys that are making plays, but Todd Davis is a big part of that defense in the middle.
Yeah, well, and he was playing behind Brandon Marshall and Danny Trevathan, or alongside them?
I think he was kind of coming in situations.
Yeah. That
early
was
down type stuff, short yardage.
Yeah. Danny Trevathan was great that year. Brandon Marshall was also great. Before he got hurt.
Pretty much great that year.
What's that?
I said everyone was pretty much great that year on defense.
I mean, before David Bruton got hurt, he was playing really well.
His best year.
Safety. Man, that defense was fun. Woo.
Imagine.
Woo. Put that defense on the team right now with Jeff Driskel. How many games they win, Will?
How many games are there in a season? 16.
Oh,
yeah, I'm gonna go 16.
16-0.
That's really the crazy part of it. Yeah, I mean, you can't – because we had the best offense in team history, maybe in league history in 2013, the best defense definitely in team history. I think one of the top 5 ever in 2015.
For sure.
The fact that we couldn't – 2014 they almost intersected, but the offense fell apart at the end.
Yeah.
And those two at the same time, maybe the most powerful force in American sports ever.
Yeah. Would you trade Super Bowl 50 and cash in for Super Bowl 48 with the 2015 defense and that Peyton Manning offense?
So we don't win Super Bowl 50.
Yeah.
But we get Super Bowl 48.
Yeah.
Man. I think with how devastating Super Bowl 48 was and how demoralizing it was, it kind of made the 2015 season a little bit sweeter. I don't know if you feel that way.
Yeah. That 2015 season was I thought it was over once Manning got benched, honestly. I was like, oh, it's all this hope I sort of had is gone. And then
an absolute roller coaster.
It'll be like it's hard because NFL folklore and history probably not going to look back at that 2015 Broncos season too often or with too much love because it was a defensive team. And you had like some improbable sort of things happen with Brock Osweiler at quarterback. But I don't know, it just seems like a team that isn't going to get the credit it ever deserves. And that's probably also true with the 2013 Broncos offense being the best offense ever in a football season. Nobody really talks about that anymore. They like forget.
Yeah.
They just forget outside of Broncos fans. Like, if you didn't watch that offense every week, you don't know. You just don't know. But
it was it was like nothing I had ever seen. I think history might, once we get a little more perspective, like 10, 20 years, history might look a little more kindly on that team just because they were playing in, the inflated offense era, kind of starting in 2011 where passing numbers just exploded. And in the era of passing and higher scores and just inflated yardage, the Broncos won, doing the complete opposite.
Yeah.
And holding down, the best offense, probably the 3 of the best 5 offenses that year in Pittsburgh, New England, and Carolina.
Yeah. And I think too, like Manning was, he was done, but what he was able to do, I guess, like at the line of scrimmage and not put the team in too many bad positions once he returned. Like, just thinking about the offensive line being an issue basically ever since then, should credit like how he was able to maybe avoid a lot of pass rush type mistakes that would have affected a QB like Brock Osweiler, say, in the postseason, that Manning was able to mitigate just by knowing what the fuck the defense was going to do, even if that meant like physically he wasn't going to threaten them with his arm anymore, is going to be – it's like one of the most impressive things that will never get discussed because you can't see it on a stat sheet. You can't look back. You would have to watch through all of those games to really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And it's kind of, you can underscore that by looking at what Jeff Driskel did when he came into the game last week. And it's not really a knock because of how little he had, how many few reps he had in training camp, plus no preseason, really next to zero experience in that offense, just getting thrown into a game against maybe the best defense in the league. But there are a couple times where the box was stacked or imbalanced to one side, and he didn't check out of a run that was heading in that direction. And then the fourth down play where he gets the shotgun snap, and then I think it was Terrell Edmonds, not Tremaine Edmonds, that comes just totally unblocked to sack him and pretty much end the game. It's like, maybe Peyton Manning doesn't make some of those throws that Driskel does in that game. 2015 Peyton Manning, of course. Yeah. But he definitely checks out of those plays and gets the offense in the right position. That was the difference that year.
Or he uses, he notifies Melvin Gordon that the blitz is coming on that right side.
Yeah.
Unmanned blitzer.
Yeah, he'd give him a God damn it Donald, and he would have picked up Edmonds.
He would have picked up the 2 yards on one of those plays, guaranteed.
I mean, the coach or the Pat Shermer would have called for a run or called for a pass, and then Peyton Manning like, what the fuck are we doing? It's 3rd and 2.
Yeah.
Let's run the ball. We got clock to drain. Come on.
Well, I guess that's kind of the hope going into this week. Jeff Driskel, a little more prep under his belt. He'll be ready.
Yep.
Him and Shermer will have a better understanding of each other, as you do in a relationship.
That's right.
So hopefully Pat can call the game a little more efficiently to match what Driskel does well. And Driskel will be ready to handle maybe some pressures and identifying them. Like, I don't know overall what kind of quarterback he is at the line. I do know they're going to get pressure from the Buccaneers. Maybe not quite what the Steelers were, but the Buccaneers came after the Panthers last week. It was it 5 sacks, I think, on Teddy, and they got 4 turnovers. So 2 picks. They got a strip of Bridgewater, and then I don't know who else fumbled. I think one of the receivers maybe. But that is a little bit worrisome, but I am confident the Broncos can do less than 4 turnovers.
I'm confident that, 3, maybe 2 would be awesome.
They've only had 1 in each game so far, right? It was the Gordon fumble week 1 and then the Courtland Sutton interception week 2.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Driskel is just getting,
Mauled.
negative 1 second in the pocket to throw the ball, and on no instance did he just throw the ball directly to a defender, is pretty impressive. And I think the more I think about that game, the more impressed I am by Driskel, and kind of watching some of the cut-ups too. Like, I was watching KJ Hamler plays, and man, when Driskel gets time, like it's usually pretty much on the money. So I think, that's obviously the key is, in any game, we talk about it with Brady every time and getting the pass rush up the middle. But yeah, I mean, it comes down to, are they going to figure their shit out at right tackle? Are they going to put in DeMar Dotson, who is a former Buccaneer? Because right now the matchup that we have to stay up all night worrying about is Shaq Barrett against Elijah Wilkinson.
Yeah,
which is not bode well.
I think the thing that's concerning here is, at least earlier in the week, Fangio said he hasn't thought about replacing Elijah Wilkinson with DeMar Dotson yet. If that's actually true, that's stupid.
He's definitely thought about it.
I mean, Wilkinson gave up 4 sacks in the the first half of that game last week. So
yeah, he was approaching Michael Schofield, Ty Sambrailo levels of traffic coning out there.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be discouraged if they leave Wilkinson in there and he's struggling and they don't do anything to remedy that. It'll infuriate me. Let's put it that way.
Right. It makes you wonder too, because we don't know behind the scenes what Dotson looks like what kind of shape he's in, how well he knows the scheme. But at a certain point, you're putting your quarterback in harm's way on every passing down by not making a switch. And we saw to make the 2015 parallel again. How many games were we just yelling at the coaches to take out Michael Schofield and put in Tyler Columbus?
Yeah, and Columbus was so much more serviceable too when he went in.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's never going to, he's not Orlando Pace out there, but he's not going to get beat every single possession. He's probably going to be in position. Not the strongest dude, not the quickest dude, but he's going to get in the other guy's way just by virtue of knowing what's coming.
It's when he got beat, it would be because the other guy just physically outplayed him. So
which you can live with.
Yeah,
right.
If you can have the guy doing the right things, not giving up 5 sacks in the game to one Khalil Mack, then you go with the guy who might give up 2 sacks.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, they couldn't have, because I saw someone complaining, when we were talking about how good KJ Hamler was, that Hamler looked great in limited opportunities, but that second round pick could have been a right tackle. It's well, you realize a year ago we made Juwan James the highest paid tackle ever.
And we were under the impression he was going to be playing back in February. So
I mean, I tweeted about it. I was because the whole thing, you couldn't be mad about Juwan James when he opted out, which I get it. You're everyone was beating each other to be the first to say, I respect his decision. I respect his, this and this. I respect his. And it was almost refreshing to hear when Chad came on. It was of course he's the one that opted out. And just and now it doesn't change the fact that it's his decision and everything. But seeing how good the NFL's been about protocol and keeping players safe, it feels like the safest place in the world right now is either in Orlando, Florida, in the NBA playoff bubble, or just in an NFL facility or on a playing field.
No, I think that's a really good point, because obviously playing football is inherently dangerous, but that's what you're getting paid for as a football player, to take that risk. And if you are in a position where you are being tested regularly and you're only around other people who have been tested regularly, I don't know what, guys like Juwan James are doing at their home, but I've never taken a COVID test. Every time I go out to the store or, whatever, I'm probably at more risk than an NFL player being around a bunch of other guys who have all been tested. So, that's a really good point. It's probably safer to be playing football for COVID purposes. Yep, I didn't even think of that. Will, if this were around the horn, I would give you 6 points.
Just keep buzzing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that part of it is just kind of hard to
frustrating.
Watch. It's frustrating.
It's what's
you didn't
sad
know that
is
necessarily as a fact ahead of the time when you opted out, but
no,
I mean,
it's fine. It's whatever, but
it is what we'll just we'll officially put out a statement, and that statement is it is what it is.
It is what it is. It's what's really sad is with everything that's happened to the Broncos in the last 2 weeks, we just spent 10 minutes talking about right tackle.
All the shit that's gone
all those
wrong,
horrible things
and
and right
still
tackle
overshadowed by the same problem we've had
Yeah,
for 6 years.
it's it's almost like expecting, and somebody you love who's an alcoholic to change. They're not going to. Every year you get a little maybe more optimism or something. No, they're going to keep drinking at that right tackle spot.
You're doing it. Yep. It's Shaq Barrett on that side, and then I actually feel a lot better about Garrett Bowles versus Jason Pierre-Paul, who's had 2 sacks on Sunday.
Bowles is put together 2
Bowles
solid
is locking
games.
it down. Yeah.
Gotta respect that.
I like what I see. We have no idea about the holding thing. We don't we know they're calling fewer holdings, which if they just do that permanently, Garrett Bowles should make $100 million in the offseason.
I was watching. So my new thing in the morning is feeding my daughter, and I'll watch some Good Morning Football, and I'll watch ESPN, just kind of flip back and forth the pins. So I wasn't doing that before, but now I'm getting more sport because I can't do anything with a baby in my hand. I've tried; it doesn't work. But they had Troy Vincent on, the head of officiating or NFLPA, some shit. But he was talking about how much the penalties are down. It's like 11 or 12 a game per 19 last year at this time. So much bigger improvement of not over officiating games. Like last year, that was the whole first month was why the fuck?
Terrible. Yeah, it was a big theme.
Why would what part of the NFL thought this was a good way to do anything? The whole argument, they're just doing this now, so to establish this is how things are going to be. I guess to play devil's advocate, if you're looking at one thing, we have probably seen less helmet-to-helmet hits and ejections.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe
definitely.
It worked a little bit, and it's –
in that regard, yeah.
I'll begrudgingly say it is nice seeing less of those because they're always fucking scary. They had
yeah, but what about jacked up? You can't do that anymore.
Oh, yeah, no more jacked up, huh? The death hits that used to happen.
You just got jacked off. We should do a segment called Jacked Off.
Jacked off.
And it's whenever a player accidentally touches another player's penis. You just got.
We just need to hire one person to watch through all the games to find accidental penis touches.
Yeah. If you feel like you can be that person, please leave a comment below.
Yeah. We're looking for somebody to join our jacked off crew. It is a one-man crew. Don't worry about that. Nothing weird here.
Can't wait.
Speaking of jacked off.
Yeah.
Mid-roll section by DraftKings. Sponsor. Do they want that associated? This episode is sponsored by the Kings of the Draft. Week 2 of football is in the books. What week is it? It's week 3. So week 2 of football is in the books. And now it's time to review the tape and get ready for week 3. There's no better place to get in on all of the action than with the DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. To add to the excitement of Week 3, DraftKings Sportsbook is bringing back their can't-miss offer. If you haven't tried DraftKings Sportsbook yet, head to the App Store now because you don't want to miss this. You can bet $1 on any team. If that team wins, you win $100. And if football's not for you, DraftKings is giving all of you MMA fans the same great offer to use this weekend at UFC 253. So download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code DNVR when you sign up to get this can't-miss offer. Again, any team. You can pick any team, even the Bengals. You could pick the Bengals, bet $1 on them. If they win, that's $100, probably the safest Bengals bet you'll ever make. So you can 100x your money. That's $1 to win 100 with code DNVR during sign up for a limited time. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. You must be 21 years or older. It is in Colorado only. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. All right, Will, KJ Hamler is who I wanted to talk about next.
I really quick, I have breaking news from The Wire. I'm going to show it to you and everybody else. The boat. Blake Bortles. He is in Denver.
He chose Flacco's number, huh?
He got Flacco's number.
Flacco 5 on Blake Bortles.
He's looking good.
He is
man.
Like a boat. What is the boat nickname? Where did that come from?
I think it came from Pardon My Take. Okay. Instead of the greatest of all time, they just started calling him the best of all time.
So that's where boat originated.
Yeah. Or maybe the Blakest of all time. I think it's the best, though.
Maybe it is Blakest because they have Blake of the Year, right?
They do have Blake of the Year.
KJ Hamler. Like you mentioned earlier, he looked good. Couldn't predict that he wouldn't be a right tackle during the draft.
No.
But I've seen some clips now on Twitter. You put one in the preview episode that will be up this weekend. But then there was a mic'd up segment where he makes Joe Hayden fall on his ass.
Yeah, on a block.
And Joe Hayden just gets up and starts laughing because he just, got worked by a small, fast rookie. So he was impressed. I think there will be a good connection between Driskel and Hamler because it looks like Hamler is going to get wide open. I think we'll see more from Jerry Jeudy, who I think I read had more missed tackles, forced missed tackles of any of the rookie wide receivers. So maybe Judy's best game and maybe a breakout game for Hamler is what I'm hoping to see.
Yeah, I mean, that's the positive spin on the Courtland Sutton injury, if there is one, is that these guys, they have to produce. They're going to be put out there, and I think they're going to do a great job. Yeah, it's funny watching Jeudy versus Hamler, and I love that, little hezzy step by Jeudy. Just if he did that to me, my ankles would, collapse in on themselves. He would just immediately turn my bones into lasagna. But with KJ Hamler and Judy's the smoothest looking receiver you'll see. Everything just looks so fluid. And Hamler just looks I don't know. He's just like a jitterbug type of player where it just looks violent. The way he runs just looks so choppy and violent. But he's just such a dog and gets open. I feel he's his limbs are going every which way and you can't even predict where he's going to go. That's how he gets so open. But he's just he's so quick and tiny. I think he's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited. If you look back to the draft, the three speed guys were Ruggs, Jalen Reagor. I always fuck this up.
Reagor.
And then Hamler. And Hamler was taken third of those guys. Reagor's on IR for I don't know if it's the short term or he'll be back after 8 weeks. So I think the Broncos made the smart decision there. Hamler, we'll say better than Reagor, and Jeudy over Ruggs. So you still get the speed that Ruggs is bringing to the Raiders. Sure, the Raiders can have their 2 wins, but the future, Broncos got the better weapons.
We'll chalk them up as 2 symbolic W's and 2 symbolic losses.
I wouldn't mind having Josh Jacobs. If I had one Raider, it would be Josh.
Be nice. Yeah, I mean, it would come in handy this week because I was looking at the stats and Tampa pretty much shut down Alvin Kamara week 1, at least rushing. And then Christian McCaffrey, before he got hurt, was putting up 3 yards a carry. Nothing special for 2 of the best running backs in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, the Bucs have a pretty stout front seven. And Ndamukong Suh's playing pretty well.
I fucking forgot he's even on that team.
Yeah. And then, Vita Vea's really coming into his own as a nose tackle. Like, he had a solid year last year. So, and who's their other one? William Golston. Like, they got good run stuffing, big dudes up front. And then two solid linebackers in Levante David and Devin White. So, yeah, I can see why they're shutting down the run. It'll be interesting to see if the Broncos run more with Driskel. But it's like a way you always negate sort of a pass rush is with your screen game, right? If you can get those quick screens – the Broncos haven't felt like a good screen team for a long time.
Forever. Yeah, since Manning was dropping them off to no Sean Moreno.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know if I see that happening.
Maybe. It could happen.
I guess I know they did activate Levante Bellamy last week, but he didn't play at all.
Didn't see him, yeah.
He's kind of that – I mean, Melvin Gordon's got hands. He's got nice hands, so maybe they can just – because the only way Kamara and McCaffrey were having
nicer
success,
hands than Cabs, for sure.
Oh, yes. They got to get – I guess they got to get Melvin Gordon involved in the passing game is what I was working towards there as I figured it out in my brain.
He did catch a touchdown last week.
Like a kind of a deep pass.
Yeah, it's like a kind of low percentage pass that they completed. But yeah, no, I agree. Slow down the pass rush with and he was wide open on the 4th and 2 play. He was running a little angle route that cut inside, but I mean, maybe the reason he was so wide open is because he was supposed to chip or just block Edmonds. So
yeah, and I think Driskel kind of got a little bit of the deer in the headlights sort of thing there.
A little bit, yeah, that's fair.
Because if Driskel knew that was coming, he could have at least thrown it away at Melvin Gordon's feet. So you don't take the intentional grounding. On 4th down, though, does a sack really fucking matter versus an incompletion? I guess not.
No, not really.
I guess
and
not.
You know how we were talking about, like, holy shit, how did James Conner have 100 yards in that game? Well, we had that, 60-yard run, right at the very end.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
No wonder.
It does. It's such like a –
because
come on. That doesn't count.
The Broncos have been pretty good against the run. They had Derrick Henry week 1. So I think they're ready for a Leonard Fournette type back because I think Henry and Fournette are similar in my opinion in terms of running style. Of course, the Bucs have Ronald Jones to be that change of pace guy. But the defensive line now, Draymond Jones is hurt. DeMarcus Walker's not playing. So their depth might be a bit of an issue there, but they still have Jarrell Casey, Mike Purcell.
Who's been awesome.
Yeah, I think they can hold their own against Tampa's rushing attack would be my optimistic guess.
Yeah, I mean Brady's kind of like Manning in that he'll check the offense and he good running plays. But fine, I guess we'll talk about Tom Brady now. What's been your? I know the Broncos were playing while the Bucs were playing last week, so you didn't get to watch the full game or anything. But what's been your read on him and kind of the rest of the team so far?
I think they're just
on Brady. We'll narrow it down to Brady. What's your read on him?
My read is they need time together.
Yeah,
I think last week they benefited from a bunch of turnovers and they were able to capitalize on an early lead. But after that, the offense wasn't super impressive, but it also didn't have to be, right? So Gronk, 0 catches. They're not forcing him into into the game plan, which is probably smart. Mike Evans had a productive day. They get Chris Godwin back. I think that's a huge boost in their passing game.
Of course, everybody on Denver's defense is out, and the one guy who's questionable for Tampa Bay is gonna play.
Yeah.
How perfect.
Yeah. So, they haven't used Cameron Brate. I think they're just figuring out how to play together. And I mean, Brady with his new receivers, Brady and Bruce Arians, if they're going to be good, you'll see it in the next few weeks. I hope they don't have some breakout performance this weekend. They've got everything. They've got 2 running backs producing. They have all these wide receiver weapons. They beat a shitty Panthers team. They lost to the Saints. They haven't done anything that says they're a top 5 offense yet. It's just the potential's there. And I think everybody's waiting for it to click. I don't know if it will this season, but if you're asking me, can Tom Brady still produce? I believe he can. He's looked like he's in better health or better shape than Drew Brees. But also I saw Drew Brees has ranked the last 4 or 5 years almost dead last in the NFL on yards per attempt throwing wise. So again, the difference for Brees was he didn't have Michael Thomas to help get that offense over the hump. But that's what I think when I look at Tampa Bay. I just don't want them to click this weekend.
Yeah, I'm with you there. The perfect time to play them would have been week 1.
Yeah,
really. And I guess it's better to play them week 3 than week 13, because then they might have really figured it out. Because you remember when Peyton Manning came to Denver in 2012, it took until halftime of that Chargers game for things to click perfectly. And that by then that's 5.5 games in. So maybe that's the sweet spot.
Yeah.
And Gronk, like you said, nothing last week. He's got 2 catches for 11 yards through 2 games, and he only got targeted once in that Panthers game.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see how many he played he played 42 snaps. So that's kind of a big deal.
They're using him maybe to block a lot. I don't know.
He's out there. Guess the percentage of snaps he played for the Buccaneers offense.
90.
69.
Oh.
Yeah. Of course.
Stat of the day, baby.
He was ready. He knew. He knew what he was doing.
The upside is Tampa scored 31 on the Panthers.
Yeah.
Broncos defense is a lot better than Carolina's.
I would agree with you in that respect.
I kind of look at it almost – so Ryan Tannehill this season right now is 6 touchdowns, 0 picks. So he's playing
really well.
Football. And he looked, all right against the Broncos, smart, but wasn't doing anything crazy. I feel like it's going to be the same sort of thing with Brady, where it's probably not going to be your typical Brady performance where he's throwing for over 300 yards and has, 3 touchdowns or whatever. But I don't see him making a lot of mistakes unless the Broncos can get more pressure than they have the last 2 games.
Yeah, that's fair, but he has made mistakes in the first 2 games.
Yeah, I'm saying
not everyone was his fault, but part of it's miscommunication. Mike Evans one, everyone was very quick to blame that on Mike Evans, which it turned out to be true. And he throws that really bad interception to Janoris Jenkins, but then just had a terrible overthrow in the Panthers game. I don't know who he was shooting for, maybe Scotty Miller, and then overthrew it by 3 feet. And Dante Jackson picked it off and returned it a really long ways. But, yeah, he has been making mistakes. It's not like the Patriots offense where everything's so calculated right now that it's totally turnover reverse. He actually has been throwing the ball downfield, which is what we're used to seeing out of the Bruce Arians offense, not what we're used to seeing out of the Tom Brady offense. To like fairly, mixed results. He had a really nice back shoulder touchdown to Mike Evans last week. Had a few big plays to Mike Evans. And then there's a flea flicker to I can't remember the guy's name. The fourth receiver there in Tampa Bay.
Like Justin something.
Yeah, I'll think of it.
Miller. No, that's Scott Miller.
Yeah. But the dude was wide open, and he overthrew him by like 7 yards. And it was a total layup touchdown, and it ended up being like a 25-yard gain because Brady just underthrew it so badly.
Well, maybe he will slip.
Justin Watson.
Justin Watson.
Yeah.
Well, we shall see. For this to work, the Broncos' rookie corner's got to play better. We broke down O.J. Moutier quite a bit. I think he can play better.
I agree.
I hope so.
He can't, or like there's definitely room for improvement. Will he? Who knows?
So the starters, what? Bryce Callahan, O.J. Moutier, and Isang Bassi.
Bassi, yeah. Bassi we haven't really heard much from, which I guess is a good thing.
Yeah. Devontae Harris is a little banged up. Don't know if he'll be playing. So maybe that means Bosby's back out there. Don't know.
I think it should mean that, yeah. That seems to be the case. Who knows? Like maybe I kind of doubt it with how they've played Wilkinson, but I could see Bosby out there for more snaps than O.J. Moody at this point.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
No, neither would I. I mean, it's one of those things that he got targeted by a veteran quarterback who tends to do those sort of things, and the other guy is going to do that relentlessly. It's Brady.
Yeah, Brady will go after a weak rookie.
Yeah. I felt like that was Manning's thing for so long, is he would just abuse the worst corner
on the
other team. Whether it's like Rock Alexander or like Parrish Cox, or that one Chiefs game where he threw like 4 touchdowns directly over the head of Marcus Cooper.
Yeah, he was a master of knowing which guys mentally exploit.
I think if he were playing the Broncos on Sunday, Michael O.J. Moutier he'd be in for a traumatic game at corner.
Very long day. You know who Peyton?
The Longest Day, starring John Wayne.
Ooh, The Longest Day. You know what Manning would be really good at?
What's that?
Sports
DraftKings.
DraftKings Sportsbook. Use promo code DNVR when you sign up at DraftKings for their one-time offer. That's turning $1 into $100. If you can get Peyton Manning's phone number, call him up, ask him what he likes for over-unders in this game. The points with Buccaneers favored by 6. Do you take the Broncos in the points? I say the Broncos haven't given up more than 6 points in a game this season. 5 last week to the Steelers, just 2 to the Titans. And I think the Steelers and the Titans are similar in talent to what the Buccaneers are. So the Denver defense going to keep teams close. I would bet on that. You got Manning on the phone there, Will?
I just typed in the 303 area code plus 6266 464, which is just Manning.
Oh.
So I wanted to see if that worked. It didn't work.
Was just a pizza place.
It was just –
If you can't get a hold of Peyton directly, just go ahead and download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Again, the promo code is DNVR. Really easy to remember when you sign up. pick any team during week 3, bet $1 on that team, and you could win $100. That's $1 to win $100 when you use the code DNVR for a limited time. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. You must be how many years of age, Will?
6.
6 plus 15. 21 years of age.
21.
And this is for Colorado only. There are eligibility restrictions that apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. You got to do that voice for when the
yeah, you got to go super fast.
And you got to do it fast. Okay, final prediction for this.
Rates may apply.
Oh, yeah. You wanted to address this Trevor Lawrence thing, right?
Yeah, I guess we could. We don't have to.
No, we need to kill a little time.
Okay.
Just like 5 minutes.
Oh, all right. Yeah, so, I mean, as soon as Drew Lock went out, everyone was like, okay, we're going to really suck now. Let's get Trevor Lawrence. I think people said that a little hastily.
Yeah.
It felt a little defeatist to me.
How fickle are Broncos fans if Drew Lock's
pretty cowardly
out for a few weeks and like, time to get Trevor Lawrence. Drew Lock is a failure already. I will say
first of all, it's not going to happen. But
Drew
yeah, go
Lock,
ahead.
That injury has taught Drew Lock when to let a play be over.
Possibly, yeah. Possibly.
Well, you would assume, like, he was stumbling. He was trying to save himself. And by trying to extend the play there, which I've previously said the quarterback's greatest strength outside of accuracy is play extension. But in that situation, it's like you just got to go down and live for the next play. Like, you would not see Tom Brady trying to get up there. You would not see Peyton Manning do that except for the one time when he did it against Dave Damashek's Steelers, which we talked about in that last podcast. Mm-hmm. But, like, it was just an awkward position to try to be recovering. It's a freak thing, so I don't foresee that type of injury happening again in that situation. My point is, I don't think you should judge Drew Lock based on that play of him getting hurt. And I guess now he's fallen on his thumb and he's fallen on his shoulder. So 2 injuries.
He's just got to find something better to fall on.
Both times he was almost doing something similar where he's like tripping and then trying to stay up. So Drew, just go down, buddy. Sometimes you
just got to fall right on his face, which you can play with a broken face.
Yeah. Basically, you want a quarterback who skateboarded when they were like in middle school.
Phillip Rivers has been doing it for years.
So they learn how to fall. Yeah. Philly Rivers.
Yeah, so the Trevor Lawrence thing, they would take him if he was there.
If they had the number one
pick.
But
for that to happen, Locke would have to play really badly when he gets back.
Yeah. That's fair. If the Broncos are in the position to take him, it's because Drew Lock
came back and was bad. Yeah. I mean, you could argue like he could get hurt again, but even then, like with Driskel going all the way, I don't see them getting the number one pick. The one thing I was worried about is, say they're in the top 5, which there's a possibility that could happen. And then they get a shot at the 2 other big quarterbacks who are Trey Lance out of North Dakota State and then Justin Fields from Ohio State. I don't like that. I think Trey Lance is the better player. I'm not a big Justin Fields guy, but yeah, I would say don't take a quarterback unless something catastrophic happens with Drew Lock.
I would agree with that.
Injury or performance, but yeah.
You know who you should take there?
Lawrence is the only one to take.
Best tackle available in the draft.
Yeah, Penei Sewell.
Ooh.
Oh,
yeah, Oregon. Take the Oregon Duck. Penei Sewell. Oh, yeah, because I was predicting that's what would happen to the Jets this year, is they'll end up with the number 1 pick, and then they'll trade Sam Darnold to get some stuff in return.
You might have called it.
Yeah. Sam Darnold.
Did you see that throw from Darnold?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. It's like if Pat Mahomes did that, he would be he'd be sucked off like that left-handed throw again.
For years.
They would send his jersey to Canton.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, first player to be inducted while playing.
Yeah, I thought it was like more impressive than anything I've seen. It defies physics. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, he's running left. He slings it cross body a bit in deep middle of the field.
To a receiver running the opposite direction.
Yeah, it's a pretty throw.
Right on the money. Like, not just got it there, hit him right in stride so he could run for a touchdown.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate he's a Jet.
Yeah, it reminded me of like a cowboy like shooting from his hip like while he was running to his left.
Yeah, it
made no sense.
It's why people are
anatomically
still high on Darnold. Despite everybody around him sucking. We'll talk a little bit more about that in the Patreon prediction episode. But who are you taking for the Broncos?
I'm going to take Tampa Bay.
Ooh.
Don't want to do it.
All right, I'm going to take the Broncos. As I said, I'm going to pick them for all of September. And my big prediction is Broncos escape this game mostly healthy. Put that
I'll take it.
Pipe and smoke it. All right, thanks for listening to the Broncos Bucks podcast here on That's Good Sports, partnered with DNVR. We love you guys. Good night.
And good luck. Wait. Check it out, baby.
Check it out, baby.